Hi everyone, hi, welcome to my channel. This is Liz. If you're new here, consider joining the family. On my channel, I share everything to do with lifestyle. I do inspirational stories. I encourage everyone. So if you're sitting out there, you've just stumbled upon my channel, go ahead and subscribe and join the channel. This whole week, I've been thinking about mental health and a lot of issues that we go through now and again, and we don't share them out there to get encouraged, to get inspired, to get some sort of advice from friends. So today we are sharing a very touching story from one of my brothers, one of my friends that I met. And the story touched me so much, and I said, why not share with you guys again? So today we are having a brother that has a story to share with us, mainly to encourage us, to inspire us, and also to give us some sort of insight on what can happen to any one of us out there. So once we share these stories, we encourage each other. So welcome, Henry. Welcome to my channel. And I'm so happy that you honored my invite on a short notice and you're able to come on and share your story with us. So go ahead and give us a brief introduction of who you are, and then we go into the story.
Okay, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so honored to be here, and thank you again. So, my name is Henry Karanja. I'm from Kenya, and I'm the founder of Inspire and Transparent organization. Henry is a young boy. Is a young man. He's a young man, and I'm 21 years old. And today I'm here to share a journey of my life, what I have been gone through in life, because I have gone through a lot in my life. So I'm here today so that I can inspire someone's life, I can transpire someone's life. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So briefly tell us what you went through and what motivated you to be who you are today, because you're now in a better place, you have no regrets, you're serving God. So tell us your story, how it started.
Okay. I was born in Murang'a County here in Kenya, and I was raised somewhere called Kiambu County, in a small area called Juja constituency. That's where my mom got married, but my mom got married with me. So the time she got married, that's where I started my schooling. I finished my primary school. From there, I joined high school, that is secondary school. I can say that my issues started when I was in high school, because I remember when I joined high school, that is the year 2014, I was in Form 1. I studied the whole of Form 1. It was good for me. I joined Form 2. Like, when I was in Form 2, that's where the issues started. And like I was, it was on second time we were supposed to do ed term exams, but me, I was not able to do the ed term exams. So I got sick and I was admitted in hospital for 2 weeks. So I was unable to do the ed term exams in the school. So the time I was released in the hospital, the school was already closed. So I went home. When I was at home after 2 weeks, because I remember I used to close schools for 1 month. When after 2 weeks now at home, I was told that there is family gathering in our home, and it was on a Sunday. So I was not okay by then, because I was still sleeping a lot. I could not work, all that. So my dad told me there is one of my cousin who is coming, and he doesn't know here. But me, I used to hear of this guy. I've never met him before. So I was the one who took him from stage and brought him at home. And after we have arrived at home, me, I went back to sleep. So I left them to continue with their meeting, because there were many of them. So at around 6 p.m., this guy told my dad that he would like me to go to his place. And my dad told him, okay. And me, I was happy because I have never been in Nairobi. So I was so happy that I'm going to Nairobi, even though I was still not okay. So I packed my few clothes we had another 2 weeks to stay at home so that we can reopen school again. So for these 2 weeks, I was supposed to go to my uncle's place to stay there, maybe to know how is Nairobi, So we went. The time like we arrived at his house, there is a guy who came exactly the time we arrived in the house. This guy came in, like he introduced himself to me, and I did also that to him. So we knew each other. Then he left. He did nothing. So after that, me, I didn't have a phone back then because I was still in school. My mom could not allow me to use a phone when I was in a school. So I took my uncle's phone and I started like playing games with his phone. While playing games, this guy who was in the house started chatting my uncle, and he was asking my uncle, "Are you sure that is your nephew?" But me, I could not tell my uncle there is messages. So he sees like there is no response. He texted again, and like he was asking, "Why are you not talking to me?" I didn't tell my uncle even that. So at that time, he called. I passed the phone to my uncle, and they talked. Me, I didn't know what they were talking because my uncle was responding, okay, yeah. So I could not understand what they were talking about. So me, I thought about their stories or that. So I didn't pick the phone again. So I kept myself busy watching TV, and like he was cooking. The house like he used to stay is a house, a bed sitter house that the toilet is there, bed is there, chair is there, a small house. But the apartments it was the apartments where he used to stay. So he cooked and we ate the dinner. At around 10 p.m., like this guy told me, I want to sleep because tomorrow I'm reporting to work. So I told him it's okay. So me, I didn't expect what he did in front of me because he undressed himself before me. I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening?
And how old were you?
I was 15 years old.
Mm.
I was 15 years old. So I was like, I just assumed I saw nothing, and I continue like keeping myself busy watching the TV. So I slept at around midnight because I was so busy watching. I remember back then in our home we didn't have a good TV. It was black and white. So I could see a colored TV. So I could just feel I'm relaxed. I'm watching a TV in Nairobi. So I slept at midnight. I felt like I'm so dizzy. I need to sleep. So the time I went to sleep, this guy was not asleep. Like he asked me, "Why are you sleeping with clothes?" I was like, "Oh my goodness, why is he asking me such kind of a question?" So I just answered him and told him that I'm used to sleep with clothes at home, so I'm comfortable. He told me what? Like, you have traveled with those clothes, you need to remove them, they have dust, you'll dust my bed sheets, all that. So I thought this is how now Nairobian sleeps. When you travel with those clothes, you have to change them because of their dust. So that's what I did. Me, I wear the short and a vest, so I went to sleep. So me, I thought like I will sleep like a normal person and I woke up the following day. So me, I slept at around now 3 a.m. 3 a.m. like I felt someone is touching me, and I just woke up shocked, but I found this guy, he's asleep. So I thought I was dreaming. I went back to sleep again. So I felt it again. So I said, no, I cannot dream one thing 2 times. So I just looked up and I found him. He's not asleep. So I knew it. He's the one who's touching me. So I had the confidence to ask him, what do you want from me? He didn't hide it from me, imagine. He didn't hide it. He just poked out and he said, like, you know what? I want to sleep with you. I was like, oh my goodness. Why did they, what did I came for in Nairobi? If this is what I came for, And for me, I couldn't understand doing such a thing or such an act, it's something bad according to the Bible, because I was someone who was raised in church and my mother had a good foundation in Christ. So she used to pray a lot, as even my stepdad now, who is my dad now, they used to pray for us so much. So I could understand this, whatever he's telling me to do with him, it's not something good. So we were like, now it's like we are fighting, but now he's older than me. He's 25 years old and used to be masculine. And I'm 15 years old, a small boy. So
Yeah.
he was able to tie me up. And the place that his house was, even when you scream, no one can hear you, because even he folded my phone up, my mouth with a pillow. I could not scream. And if I could scream, no one could hear. So he was able to do whatever he planned.
So he was able to rape you and you were only 15.
Yeah, he was able to do that. And do you know, he didn't even untied me. I slept that way with a lot of pain, bleeding in the house, and he could see he did nothing.
And you were bleeding on his bed.
Yes, he could see he did nothing. So he woke up in the morning, like he told me he is on breakfast. Me, I couldn't even talk to him. I could not even able to face him, because I was even asking myself, what time will morning come? I just want to see if I had somebody in this house or it was a ghost. Because I could not imagine this is the person that I came from. He took me from home, he brought me here, now he came to do this to me. So he told me that we were breakfast, and also he told me that at around 8 a.m. in the morning that there is somebody who is coming to pick me up. So I didn't ask him who is the person, because I didn't want to speak to him. So after that, now, before he left to go to work, he untied me. He left me in the house, but he locked all the doors, even the gate. I could not get out. So that during that 8 a.m., I heard that someone is opening the gate. Then after a few seconds, the door was opened. Do you know who came in? The guy who was in the house last night. They had planned with him that they raped me. So even him was coming to rape me.
Oh my goodness.
He was coming to rape me. So I said, no, 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 no. Nothing will happen to me again, because it's a daytime. Now I say, because I can see the house well, where I can get a weapon now to defend myself, because I cannot bear another pain again. So I just took the knife and I told this guy, you know what? You do nothing to me. He was scared and he did nothing to me. So he told me, you know what? We have to get out of this place. We went up to a place called Nyeri here in Kenya, Nyeri County. So we went up to there, and he was going there to see, he had a project there. Okay, they were fearing that if they left me in the house, maybe I could scream. People will come and tell the people what happened, you see. That's why they took me with them to Nyeri. So we came back in the evening. Now I had the confidence now to face my uncle, and I told him, you know what, I want to go home tomorrow. I cannot stay here. So the following day, me, I slept on the chair that day. Could not sleep on that bed. I slept on the chair. So in the morning, I told him, give me transport, 500 shillings, Kenyan money. So I went home. Me, the time I arrived at home, like I was like, what will I tell my mom? What will I tell them, you know? Because I could see it's something shameful, it's something, you know. So I just, let me just keep quiet with whatever happened to me, maybe I will be okay. So that's what I did. But my mom could see I'm not okay. And she could ask me, I think you are supposed to stay there for 2 weeks, but you have stayed for 2 days and came back. Why? I just told her, I just decided to come because I could not enjoy there. That's what I told her. But deep inside, I knew what was happened, but my mom could see I'm not okay. But I'm not telling her what happened to me. So I kept quiet with my own issues. I didn't share with anyone. Now, after 1 week, now I didn't know that the thing that my uncle did to me that will affect me later, or the thing, you know, it will it will came out in a such a way. So after 1 week, maybe I felt like I need just to run away from this place, and I go just far away. I look for a man, That's what I did. I took my phone, my mom's phone, and created my own Facebook account, and I went there and I searched for gay groups. And that's where I found that guy. This guy, we talked. We arranged how we'll meet, and even he sent me transport to door. Now, because my mom could have asked me, where are you going? Now I lied to her that I'm going to meet with someone, but this person, the place we are meeting, I've never gone there. So we'll have to go with your phone for me to be able to communicate with him. And I remember that day my mom gave me 150 shillings to come with some onions. But me, I knew I was not coming back. So me, I went with my mom's phone, and she gave me 150 shillings to come with some onions. That's how I went. So I met with the guy in Nairobi, and we went up to his place. Now I started staying there with this guy. So I switched off my mom's SIM card. Now I have my own SIM card. So when she goes her line, it's unreachable. She started like worrying, where did I go? I switched off the phone, but she did not report me. Friends on Facebook, they were gays. I could receive a lot of friend requests on my account, so I could just accept them because I need to have maybe more friends on Facebook. But I didn't know they were gays. On the process, like there are these people in Kenya that we call them they wore turbans. In here in Kenya, such kind of people we know them as people who are very, very holy, and they cannot do some things. So I somebody like that texted me and like told me, I want us to meet. But my aim to meet him, I was just going to confirm if the turban is real. So that's what I did. We met, and I thought, he has a turban, he's real. Like, how this kind of people are so holy here in Kenya. I could not expect such kind of a person to be a gay. So we went up to his house. When we arrived at his house like was a single house, but it was full of young people. But I was the youngest person in that house. There were like 7 boys of them. So when I got there, I saw a guy there, like he was 21 years old. This guy started like he wants me, like we be partners. Now this guy, he's jealous. He took me out of the house. He took me to his friend's house. But another friend of him, he had a turban. So I slept there. The following day he came for me, then he brought me back to his house. Now while staying there, I started staying there. But I didn't know that my mom's cousin stays in the next apartment. So while I was in the balcony, my aunt saw me and like, is that Henry? She came down to confirm. She found that it's me. She called me to his house. Like she started like talking to me. You have to talk to your mom because like she has been telling me that you ran away from home. She doesn't know where you are. Just talk to her for her so that she can get peace. So I just decided to call my mom, but I was so rude to her. I could tell her, just leave me alone. I'm working in Nairobi and I don't want to go back to school. That's how I stopped. I dropped out from high school. I never came back again. I never went back to school again. So my mom just told me, you know what? You just take care of yourself and I'm praying for you. That's what she told me. So now she knows I'm working in Nairobi, but me, I knew what I was doing. So I finished 1 week in that guy's house. Now the weekend that I was following, this guy who was like, he wanted us to be partners. He told me that today I'm gonna take you somewhere. I was like, where? He told me we're gonna go for clubbing. And I told this guy, you know what? Me, I've never gone to a club, so I'm not comfortable and I cannot go. I don't even know how to take alcohol. I don't know where to start. I really don't know. So I won't go. Just leave me alone. He just told me, no, you know what? When you start this kind of a life, you have to do something so that you can be crazy. You don't have to be sober. That's how we went to a gay club. He took me to a gay club and lesbians here in Nairobi. So we went. We partied the whole of that night, but I did crazy things there because I took alcohol in a way that a lot of alcohol. So I could not even control myself. So I did a lot of crazy things there. So even I didn't know that I used to love dancing. So when I was dancing, I didn't know that a lot of people are getting interested. So I could just give them my number. When somebody comes and tells me, give me a number, just give them my number. So I just got my number has spread a lot to those people. So the following day I could receive a lot of calls, convenience, all that. So one of these days, first in that guy's house. Now these guys who took me to the gay club, he told me, let's move out of this house. We rent our own house. So his mother led him money to rent the house. So he rented the house. We moved in with this guy. So like you were dating. So I became so exposed to that kind of a life because I remember we used to go to party like every weekend, starting from Friday to Sunday, Friday to Sunday. So this club that we were going, this gay club, I became an ambassador of the club. So I used to go for dancing competition every Thursdays and like I'll be the winner. Always I was the winner. I get the money. Then sometimes you'll be given roses, flowers, just to be appreciated. And every month I used to be paid because I was the brand ambassador of the club. And a lot of people used to come in that club. So sometimes I just felt like I miss home, I miss my siblings. I just need to go home and say hi to them. But the first day I went home, I found my mom in prayers. She used to pray. And when I got there, I found her that she's praying. I could feel I don't belong here. I belong to Nairobi. I just ran away and I go back to Nairobi. So one of the days I just thought, you know what? I'm just tired of this Nairobi. I just need to change the atmosphere. So I decided to go to Mombasa. I went to Mombasa. I met with an Arab guy there. I stayed with him like for 3 months. Now this guy that we were staying with him in Nairobi, like we had broken up, but we stayed in the same house as friends. Now I had freedom to go and date outside with other people because we had already broken up. So that's why I went to Mombasa and I met with this guy. I stayed there for 3 months. I stayed there, then I saw the weather here is not good with me because in Mombasa there is a lot of, what will I say? It's not cold there.
It's
Temperature is high. Yeah, it's so hot. The temperature is very high. So I could get sick a lot of most of the time. So I went back to Nairobi. Now I remember that is the year 2016 and it was around there December. So that year I decided like, that was about like 1 year and a half since I started doing those things. Now this is 2016, 1 year and a half. I decided that during festive season on 2016, I'll go home to my mom's place so that I can celebrate with them. But I didn't go. I went there on the 28th December. So the time I went there, my mom she used to understand that what I was doing because maybe Holy Spirit revealed to her that what I was doing, but she could not confront me just suddenly that she comes confront me and tell me, you are doing this and this. She could not do that. Like now, she wanted one day I would come to her and I tell her this is what I'm doing. So that day, she said that enough is enough. I need to hear the truth from my son, what happened to him, because I understand what is happening. So on that day, I remember when I arrived in the house, it was like 10 p.m. I entered the house. I served myself food. I ate. After like I finished, my mom came like with a banner. I was beaten, my friend. I was beaten. When she was telling me, you have to tell me the truth. You have to tell me what is happening to you. What happened? So I saw like my mom, my mom will kill me. I will have to tell her what happened. So I decided to tell her. She fainted. My dad could not speak. My dad's sister were there. They knew everything. So I could not sleep that day. I didn't sleep. So the following day, the first thing I did is to commit suicide. That's what I did. I took more than 40 tablets and I collapsed. My brother is the one who saw me. He screamed and I was taken to hospital. My life was saved. So my mom saw that. Now I have committed suicide. Like she saw, I just need to hold my son, to bring him more closer to me, maybe to talk to him so that he can understand no matter what happened, he's my star, he's my son, he's my firstborn orphan. But I could not see all that. I could see shame. I could see shame. So me, what I did, I went back to Nairobi. Here wants to read. I don't know if he will be able to do this interview.
It's okay. Actually, the sound is good.
The sound is good. So I went back to Nairobi. Now I just felt, here in Nairobi, I don't want to stay here. I just want to go outside this country. So me, I used to get fever. So I found a guy from Zanzibar in Tanzania. So we arranged the way I will go there. But I lied to him that I have an ID, but I didn't have. I didn't have any document because they were with my mom and she could not give it to me. She could not give me any document. So I lied to him that I have an ID. He asked me to capture a picture. I sent to him. So I took my friend's ID. I captured the picture, then I sent the guy. So the guy asked me, "Are you ready to come?" And I told him, "Yes, I'm ready to come." He sent me some cash to go, 20,000 Kenyan shillings. That is a lot of money. So I didn't go. I went to party with that money. I called all my friends, we go to party. So the following day, he asked me, "Have you arrived in Mombasa?" Because I was using Mombasa to go to Tanzania. "Have you arrived to Mombasa?" So I told him, I got to an accident. I won't make it to come. Like he knew like I was lying, but this guy was in a cult, but I didn't know. He knew that I was lying to him that I got to an accident. So like he said, like he's threatening me. The whole of that day, I took a lot of bang and alcohol for me just not to think about that man. So on Saturday that evening, he called me and he told me, Henry, I just love you. I want you to come. Just tell me that you ate the money. I will send you another money to come. So I just said, yes, that's what I did. He sent me another money. So I decided to go. I went illegally up to Tanganyika. It was not easy because I had to bribe the driver of the car for me to be able to pass the border. So I just found myself in Tanganyika. Then my phone had lost the network because I'm now out of Kenya and I'm in Tanzania and I don't have the SIM card for Tanzania. So I borrowed the phone from this driver. I told the driver, "Give me your phone. I want to call someone." So he led me the phone. I called the guy. He told me, "Just say there is someone coming to pick you." Now it's around 8 p.m. at night. Somebody came to pick me up. So we went up the place I was supposed to sleep so that I can sleep. The following day, I will be taken to the port, take a ship. So the following day, I was taken to port by this guy who took me yesterday. We went to port, but me, I had fake documents. So for you to enter the ship, there is somebody who was going through your papers. So I was panicking a lot. So I was like, wow, what will I do if like he realized I'm using fake documents? But God was good. When I arrived there, I was about to give him my documents. He told me just pass. Hey, I was happy. I passed. So after you enter to the ship, there is another person who will check your papers to look where you have paid, if it's regular or VIP. mine was paid VIP in the ship. So I could just go there and relax. If I want to sleep, I would sleep, whatever. Because I remember we stayed in the ocean for the whole day. I arrived in Zanzibar at around 6 p.m. So I found the guy is waiting for me at the port. He took me with his car. We went up to his home. Now, like I started staying there. I stayed there for 3 months. Now this is 2017. I stayed there for 3 months, but he was in a cult, but I didn't. But me, I didn't know because there is a dress. These are Muslim clothes. Yeah, in Kenya we call them kanzu. So he was a designer. He designed me that kind of a cloth and a cape. So me, I didn't know that he had those clothes were demonic, but me, I didn't know. So I used to have those clothes. I could wear them like every time I'm with those clothes. So after 3 months, I told this guy, me, I just need to go home. I feel like going because the Tanzanian president started saying that he's gonna deport people who are there illegally. So I just told this guy, me, let me just go home before it's too late for me. So I came back to Kenya the way I went there, just illegally. So he arrived in Mombasa. When I arrived in Mombasa, like I found a guy who was selling some rings, and those rings they were somehow looking like so something smart, something good. When you look at it, you could admire it. So I admired the rings and I bought the rings and I wore the ring on my finger. So me, I just took the bus to come to Nairobi, and I called my mom. I told my mom, I'm coming. But when I was almost arriving in Nairobi, I felt like I would go home with my belongings. Let me just call my friend that we used to stay with. We meet in town. He came and picked my belongings to take them to his house. Me, I go home with anything. So I was wearing that dress, that Muslim dress. So me, I went home. Near time I went home, when I was outside the gate, my mom was praying. I could hear her when I was outside the gate in a loud volume. So I tried entering home, but I was feeling someone is pushing me behind, not to enter in our home. So my brother had saw me. So he came and told me, hey, welcome, we missed you, all that. But I told my brother, go to the house and bring me a trouser. I wear a trouser then so that I can remove this dress. So that's what I did. And I entered the home. My mom came out, we talked, but I could not be able to sleep there. I had felt, no. Me and my mom, we cannot stay in the same house. So I went back to Nairobi, but I forgotten to carry my clothes. So my mom called my bishop. They used to pray with my bishop. And she told her, you know what, there's some clothes that I have left there. My bishop told my mom, take those clothes outside the house because they are demonic. They can affect you. So that's what my mom did. So bishop told my mom, you know what, they were in fasting for 3 days, and that there was their last day in that fasting. So bishop told my mom, you know what, we will not break our fasting, we'll continue for another 3 days so that we can burn those clothes. So that's what they did. They used to pray a lot. They used to fast 3 days per week. They fasted for 1 year and a half, praying for me, sleeping in cold on the floor, praying for me. It was not easy. So that's what they did. So they fasted for another 3 days. It became 6 days. Now, because they used to sleep in the church at night praying, then the following day they go home. Then when night comes, they go back to church to sleep there, all that. The last day, when they were burning the clothes, at around 3 a.m. at night, they decided to take the clothes, move out outside the church. They looked for some leaves which are dry and poured some petrol to the clothes so that they can burn it. They lighted the matchbox. The clothes did not burn. it did not burn. They saw this is not normal. They prayed, they prayed, they prayed until that cloth was burned. But the ring jumped and disappeared until today. We don't know where it went. Now this cloth, the time it was burning, it was rolling like a snake. I, as usual, when you burn like some clothes, it became ash. The clothes became plastic.
Wow.
It lasted there for 2 years. So me, I'm in Nairobi. Now, while they were burning these clothes, they were declaring strong words for me to be untied because I had some spirit that tied me up. I could not understand myself, you know. And back then, when I was in high school, I used to play keyboard in the church. I used to read sometimes, you know. Now they were declaring strong words upon my life. Like the way this clothes is burning, the altar inside heaven will burn like this now. And you know, like it was functioning because the day that clothes was burned, I started facing rejection from the gay people. They could not want to, they didn't want to see me. They didn't want to hear from me. So I was like, what is happening to me? So I said, you know what, I will join cult because now I want to be rich. I need money and I don't have money. And I used to stay alive with money. So I could see life is so different for me without money, without taking alcohol, without going out. So I knew a friend of mine here in Kenya who was in a cult. I called him and I told him, you know what, I want to join cult. Help me and tell me the way I'll join this cult. He told me, let's meet. We met. You join this cult, but you have to sacrifice one person in your family. Okay, I told him, me, I'm ready. But as long as it's not my mom, but any other person I could do it. So he told me, you know what, there is registration fee that you need to send. He gave me the number that I will send the money to. So I told him, let me just go home. The money is in the house. I'll go to M-Pesa. I'll deposit the money, then send. He told me you are going to send 666 shillings. So me, I went to the house. I took the money. I was going to M-Pesa to deposit the money. When I was going, my mom called me. She just told me, you know what? I know you are going to deposit money for you to join a cult. Just go back to the house because it would be a successful. I was shocked. So I was like, my mom, do you know what you are saying? How do you know my secrets? How do you know my things? So I didn't deposit the money. I went back to the house. So this guy kept calling me, why are you not sending the money? So I just lied to him. I lost my money, so I don't have money right now. He told me, you know what, you have to join the card because already I've told you the secrets. You have to join it. So I just said, just take me where you go to do your sacrifices so that I can be told who am I gonna sacrifice. So I was taken to a devil worship church in Nairobi. So the time we arrived in that church, like I was told to enter using my backwards. So I entered that church. So I was told, you know, you have to join this church and you have to sacrifice your mom. When I heard it was my mom, I ran away. I said, no, I can never do that to my mom. I ran away. So they started like chasing me in dreams. So I could have sleepless nights. I could not sleep. So I just decided, my mom, she's a very prayerful man. I think she can pray for me, these people to stop fetching me in dreams because I cannot sleep. So I decided to go back home. Now this is 2017 November. So I decided to go. I carried all my belongings and I went back home. So my mom was like, hey, what happened to this guy? I stayed there for 1 week. My mom, she was like, what? 1 week here without going anywhere. Something is not good with this man. Like, but she could know that it's her prayers that have been answered. Because they have been praying for years. So 1 month went down when I was just in the house, not going out. I'm just at home. Now, the first Sunday of December 2017, my mom told me, can we just go to church? So I was like, no, I didn't love church. I told her, no. I went back to sleep. That's where I dreamed. Like I saw somewhere with a big fire. And on the other side, it was a place which was very, very smart. are very, very smart. So like I had now somebody asking me, which side do you want? I woke up scary. I was like, who is that person? So my sister was preparing to go to, I just told her, wait for me, we go to church. That's how I found myself in church. So I found my bishop preaching the book of Isaiah chapter 1 verses 18. And I will never forget about that verse. So the verse was directed to me. She was preaching, but I could feel the verse, it's for me, that God can be able to forgive me my sins and change my ways. So me, I didn't wait for what we call altar calling who wants to be born again. Me, I just stood up and said, me, I want to be born again. My mom fainted again. Bishop is crying. My dad is crying. Now people in church are wondering, why are these people crying? Because somebody has said they want to be born again, but they didn't know behind the scene what it was. But this could understand what it was. So I was prayed. I was born again on that day. I started my deliverance there. Now my bishop told me, for you to be able to overcome all things, you have to sacrifice yourself. You yourself. You just go for fasting. You pray for your heart. That's what I did. I went fasting for 4 days in a prayer mountain here in Kenya. We called it Heaven's Gate Prayer Mountain. So I went there for 4 days. I prayed for those 4 days, and I was healed totally. Now, when I came from prayers, my clothes, everything that I had, it was burnt. So I had to start from zero. So I started my life again. It was tough. So me, I thought now, because I've changed and I've been told, because my bishop told me from now henceforth your life will change, you'll have a good life. Me, I thought it will happen at once. So me, I didn't expect I will face now another challenges. So after few months, I said maybe I would like to share this story in a media, so that maybe somebody can learn from this story, can be inspired from this story. Yes. So me, that I went to my Facebook, and I typed my story, a long story. No, people started sharing the story, and I was called by one of the media personality from US, where you are, called Jeremy Damaris. So this guy told me I want to interview you. I said yes, interview me. So I went for the interview in Nairobi. I did the interview, but before the interview was released, he sent me a letter of agreement, because back I didn't have an ID. So that the agreement was if this story will be aired, it will not be pulled down because of any issue will come up or anything. It won't be brought down from YouTube. So I agreed with the letter, and the video was uploaded. Hey, my life changed again. I received a lot of threats. No, will kill you. We will kill you, you young man. So I had to change my number again. So I changed my number.
Were those messages from the gay family?
Yeah, from the gay family. Although there were some people who were positive, oh, sorry for what happened, but the most of the messages were negative. Me, I could not hold it. I used to cry. I stayed in the house for 1 year, suffering with the depression because of what happened for me during that interview. So sorry, I changed my number. No one could reach me through that interview. Even that number, until when you call that number, it's out of service. Now I started now suffering rejection, because this story it was so spread. A lot of people shared. Even in my area, people knew it. So everybody was saying, I don't want, nobody could talk to me. Nobody wants to be with me, because hey, Henry is like this. He was a devil worshiper, all that. A lot of stigma. So I could not talk to you. One day I just told God, you know what? Me, I didn't get saved for me to go all through this. Just do something, change all of this situation. And God heard my prayers. Now, everybody today wants to be with Henry.
Yeah. Want to be with you. And And thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story to us. You know, in this life, I have noticed that once you go through something that you're not proud of, many people, instead of helping you, they want to put you down, they want to get at you. You have seen stories of depression. That actually will be my next video I will upload about mental health. But your story is very inspiring. Don't think you're the only one that is going through that same issue you're going through. There are so many other people going through the same. I have watched tons of videos, so many people going through the same situation you're going to. But are they coming out to share? No, they don't have the courage. So thank God that you have the courage to come out and share your story to help out somebody who is suffering from the same, who is not happy with their life they're living, to encourage somebody out there. And that is the purpose of social media. That is the purpose of us to use our tongue, to use our stories, our testimonies to help somebody out there. So don't ever feel like you shouldn't share your story because people are coming at you with negative energy, with a lot of negativity. Don't give them your ears. Don't listen to those ones. Just know 2%, 5% of the people that will benefit from your message is what is most important to you. You cannot please everyone, but for you, if you reach out to one person, 2 people, 10 people, you've changed their life. They are looking at themselves, appreciating themselves, and, you know, believing to live life much better. Thank you everyone that is watching, and if you'd like to support Henry, I'm going to leave his email address in the description box below, and also in the comment section. Get back to me if you need to reach out to him, give him support. He's starting his organization. He's a very young man who has gone through a lot of depression. You've listened to his story, so reach out to me if you need to help him. My email is also on the About tab. I have an email. You can follow me on Instagram at Liz Sophocles. It is also on my About tab. Follow me, and also if you need information about him, you can let me know and I'll share with you the details so that we can support him, and so that he doesn't go back to his life that he doesn't really want to be. Yes.
It's prayer like I need to go back to school and like sit for my form for exams. I would like to go back to school. I'm still here.
Yeah, right. So we can also support him to go back to school. You reach out if you know any organization, if you want to help, to reach out to any donations can help him go back to school and achieve a better life, to continue to inspire so many people, so many young people, so many teenagers out there. Thank you, Henry, again for appreciating my call and coming to my channel to share your inspiration. And we are going back to end the video. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.